Alright, hello everybody, this is Sir Adrian back here to film the USA's turn in our current game of Global Empires 1915 titled Operation Growing Storm, where we are on turn 8 for the summer of 1917. So, in terms of purchases, we have 17 IPP to spend. We're going to buy 1, 2, 3, 4 infantry units at 3 APP each, which will bring us to 12. We're going to spend 2 IPP to upgrade a militia to an infantry. It'll be the one over in San Francisco. Excuse me. So that'll bring us to 14. And then we're going to spend 2 IPP, our remaining 3. So we're going to spend 2 to attempt to influence Japan, and we're going to pay an extra 1. So it's up the British track by 1. So normally it's a 2 or less. So we'll pay an extra 1. So that could be a 3 or less to influence it back down to neutral. So that'll be all our 17 IPP spent. So we'll do that while we're over here quick before we do the technology roll. Might as well. So for Japan, so we need a 3 or less. That's a miss. So we'll go ahead and do our tech rolls. So we have only the 1 because we have additional tech. We'll try to go for early armor. So we need a 5 or more. Perfect. A 6, that's a success. So the Americans move up to early armor, and they'll get a free early tank for that. Go ahead and place that quick just before we forget about it. Sorry about that. So there we go. In terms of attacks, we'll have a couple, and these will get removed on my turn, so we'll just quick delete those now. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah, so we'll have a couple. So we're going to attempt to have these 3 infantry units attack from New England into Quebec. So we'll go ahead and do that first. So they're all early infantry. Excuse me. There's no terrain, but because they're early infantry, they still just attack at a 1, I do believe. Let's just double check that really quick. Yeah, they attack at a 1. And then early colonial infantry defend at a 2. So we get 3 rounds because it is the summer. So 3 at 1. So 1 hit to start. Then he's going to have 2 defending at 2. No hits. So we'll go ahead and press the attack. We'll have 3 at 1. That was a bit cocked, but that would have been a 7. So we won't re-roll it. So nothing. He gets 2, at 2. So that was a 1, so 1 hit for him. Let's lose one of those. He'll lose that one. Actually, sorry, he only... We'll keep the hit. He would have only... I think that's what we'll do. That was my bad. I should have removed a first hit on the first round. So I rolled 2. I think we'll keep that. I mean, it's possible he might not have got that hit, but we'll leave it as it is because that was my mistake. So final round. So I got 2 at 1. Nothing, and then he's got 1 at 2. Nothing. So we retreat with the 2 infantry, and that's it for that battle. I'll have to read. I haven't had a chance since we talked about the Ghost Militia to read into it, but I think that means there's a militia that ends up being placed here. Uh, yeah, we'll put 1 there for now. If there's 2 of them that get placed, then we can go ahead and add that, but I do believe there's 1 for sure. But we'll go ahead and here, I'll just circle that. Let me make a note of that, and I'll make sure myself, when I have a few minutes to go and read into that, to see exactly how that works. Because it's something I've been meaning to do for sure. Anyway, that's it for that attack. So we'll go to the next one. So the next one, we're going to have this early cavalry. These 4 mountain infantry units. And these 5 regular early infantry are all going to attack into Washington, D.C. So this cavalry will be crossing a river, so it's going to have the river penalty on the first round. These guys are fine. And the mountain infantry on the first round will be crossing the river, so they'll have the penalty. And all these infantry class units within the city will be defending at +1. So the early colonial will defend at a 3. Okay, we'll just leave that there. So the early colonial will defend at 3. The early infantry, I believe, will be at a 4. Yeah, at a 4. And the naval infantry, okay, at a 4 as well. So 2 to 4 and 1 at a 3. So we'll go ahead and roll his first strike first, which will be at a 3. Yep, at a 3. Okay, so that's a miss. So then we get to go. So we'll have our cavalry unit that will be attacking at a 2. Yep, at a 2. It's second generation, that's at a 3. So at a 2 or less. Nothing. Then we'll have our, or sorry, 1 or less, because of the river on the first round, but you didn't get a hit regardless. We have our 4 mountain infantry our early mountain infantry. They had attack at a 1 regardless. So actually, so we can roll those with these 5, because in this case the terrain won't matter. So another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at 1. Okay, so that this one was a 1 flipped over. It was a little bit cocked, but it was more on the one side. So just 1 hit though in that first round. You would probably want to lose this unit, so we'll just put that aside. But he'll get to defend, of course, so he has the colonial at 3 or less. Nothing. He's got the naval and the regular infantry or early infantry at 4. Of course, 2 hits. And then the cavalry, I believe it defends on a 1. Yeah, early cavalry doesn't have good defense. Defending at a 1. No hits. He'd lose that. And then he took 2 hits, so we gotta lose 2. So we'll lose 2 of the infantry. And I think we'll press the attack. So now we'll have the early cavalry, which will be attacking at a 2 or less. Nothing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll be attacking at a 1. Nothing. He'll have the early cavalry defending at a 2. Nothing. And then he'll have the he'll have the artillery as well on a 3. So we'll go ahead and roll that. Nothing. And then he'll have the early infantry and the naval infantry defending at 4. And 2 hits again. So we'll lose 2 infantry. And we'll just call it there. Okay, so that attack is done. And I don't think there's any other attacks we wanted to do. No, that'll be it for... Oh, actually, sorry, we will be raiding that on the British lines. I believe that should have been removed on the British turn. Yeah, because these are American. Yeah, so we'll try that. So I'll be black as the attacker, red's a defender, +1 because it's a coastal sub. So 5 to his 3, so 2 damage, so max damage on this line here. So the British will go down 2 for that. That one's closed. And yeah, that'll be it. So non-combat, we'll move this coastal submarine 1. This coastal submarine will move 1, 2. Because it had the boost from the major port in Samoa. this early infantry will walk over into the northeast. This one as well. Yeah, and that should be it. Yeah, that's it for non-combat movement. Oh, sorry, it's a bit out of order. I had this one I had moved the last turn. If that's all right, I'll go ahead and I'll move him one and I'll raid the West African line as well. It's a little bit out of order, but so if we want to negate that, that's fine. My apologies, a little bit tired filming this, but so black attacker, that'll be +2, red's the defender. Oh, actually, never. We can't even raid that one. Never mind. Yeah, it's my own line. Never mind. I don't know what I'm thinking there. But we will non-combat move this one. We'll move it. I we'll move it one up there for now. Yeah, we'll just do that for now. So that's it for non-combat movement. So just place units. So this one here, or this militia rather, that's the one that's going to be upgraded. So that's going to use a manpower to do that. Then otherwise, the early tank will place at our factory, our major factory in New York. We'll scale it down a bit 'cause it's a little large. Then we'll place an infantry in the northeast. Place one in New York. Place one in New Orleans. And then we'll place the last one over in San Francisco. Actually, we'll take the one we have in New Orleans out. We'll place that one as the second one we're allowed to place in San Francisco instead. We'll do that. There we go. Perfect. All right, so collect our IPPs. We got a total of 17 plus 1, 2, 3, or plus 2, sorry, for trade with Venezuela and Brazil, for a total of 19 IPPs we get to spend the next turn. So that'll be it for the Americans, and we'll go ahead and hand things off to the Chinese.